But there it is, a great independent university which does not insult any man or woman, whatever their background, by offering them the second best. Nothing but the best is good enough.
Hello, I am Lisa May Young and welcome to Ruth Cammies, who is an archivist with the Open University. Hello Ruth.
Hi Lisa.
Welcome. I'm absolutely delighted to be chatting to you today about Jennie Lee. Please tell us about your role as an archivist with Open University.
Yeah, well, I've worked at the OU as university archivist now for 17 years.
Wow.
There are 4 of us in the archive team. We look after the university's archive collections, including the many thousands of OU television and radio programmes that the OU produced going back to the early 1970s. So as well as the university's own archives, we look after a number of other collections, mostly related to individuals or research subjects, and the Jennie Lee papers are one of those collections.
Must be amazing working with those papers. I could only imagine. Jennie Lee bequeathed her papers to the Open University. As an archivist for the Open University, what is it like to be the caretaker of such significant documents?
The Jennie Lee collection is just fascinating. It covers her whole life, right from her childhood, where we've got items such as her socialist Sunday school hymn books and her school certificates, through to her political life, her correspondence with a very wide variety of people, friends and politicians, and then later, obviously, with her involvement with the Open University, the arts, which she was very involved in, and being a member of the House of Lords. I particularly like materials from her childhood. I've got to say, family photographs and things like the poll cards and the campaigning materials, especially from the very early days, like the North Lanark campaign in 1929. And yeah, a selection of those we've made digitally available on the digital archive.
It must be. It must be something else to perhaps see it, because I've got a picture in my head of her having notes, you know, just with ideas about the Open University, and now it's been your career for the best part of 20 years.
Yes, yeah, So it's just absolutely a fascinating collection, and there's such a variation in there. So there's, you know, audio files or audio records and that kind of thing. We have some video of Jennie, mostly from the university's own collection rather than her collection, but also photographs, letters, kind of newspaper cuttings, and her own, as you say, her own notes, her own speeches, and that kind of thing. Yeah.
Jennie Lee and her husband Nye Bevan were known as political rebels. How did Jennie use the spirit to create the Open University? One
of the things that I think really stands out in Jennie Lee's archive is her passion and her determination to get things done. You can really see her resolve. Things like around the areas of food prices or housing, for example, in her early letters and her early papers around Lanarkshire in the late 20s and early 30s. Just as you can see her kind of vision for the arts in the white paper she produced as the first Minister of the Arts in 1965. When Harold Wilson gave Jennie his project of a University of the Air, she really took the idea and really ran with it, using the same determination that she'd put into her previous work. And with Wilson's support and backing, Jennie just clearly wouldn't take no for an answer, and her passion just sticks out a mile. If
Jennie was here, what would you say to her?
Gosh, I'd certainly thank her for keeping so many precious and interesting items from her life. It's such a varied life that they can be shared today in the archive collection. But yeah, I'd also thank her for her role in setting up such an amazing university that's been able to support so many people for over 50 years so far.
She's such a character that you'd often wonder what she'd think of modern times. You know, I wonder what she would say about, you know, the last year, and I'd imagine she'd have a lot of support for the NHS heroes. And
Absolutely. And I'm sure she'd be as passionate about the causes of today as she was then, definitely.
Yeah. Ruth Cammies, archivist for the Open University, thank you so much for talking to us about Jennie Lee.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
We got our charter. And you know, there were some of you who criticised and say, why are you going through all this old-fashioned paraphernalia? People like ritual, you know. and they liked ceremony. And as I'd started out snobbing the snobs, I thought I'd better go on with it. Because what mattered at the end of the day were the students that you attracted, and as I said, the quality of the staff.